confidence that kind of just manifests its way through the whole movie, starting with Judd and Barry and Kumail and Emily, that they did this really kind of, I mean, they walked through fire in some ways to put this down on paper, I would imagine. It couldn't have been an easy thing to accomplish. So you guys do all that work with Barry and Judd, and then we come along and we've got all these ideas, you know. Zoe and Ray and I had tons of ideas. Anupam, I'm sure, had ideas as well, and then there was this kind of open-armed process of you know, accepting all of those ideas and seeing would they fly, you know, like kind of trying them not exactly on our feet, but we had a really intense rehearsal period with the script where we really were going through the script and talking about other ideas that we could kind of, that would be additional, you know, that might make the scenes even richer, more complicated. And that's not always received as openly as it was with this project. There was just a whole other act where it was like, come on, you guys, what do you got?
And he has his actors in a barn for a month, and they just talk about the script. And you do a lot of that in the theater too, when you're kind of working on a play and kind of working it into shape to put it on stage. And so that's our fantasy in all the movies that we do, is to try to do that as a way for the actors to get a greater ownership of the part than here. I'm here to execute a part that was written, and also just to make a movie feel lived in, which I think is a very hard thing to do. A lot of movies, you watch them and it's pretty easy to feel like they're fake, and I think one of the things that we strive to do, and that because the acting was so good that we were able to achieve, is to make it feel lived in and real, and like, you know, a little more like real life.
And Ray?
Well, there's plenty of comedy in it, but I got the script and I read the role, and I think it was kind of, I knew it was a real story, but I knew that the characters of Emily's parents were kind of open to interpretation, right? So I just went about kind of writing a little backstory for the guy, and I sent it to the director and I sent it to Barry, and I think after I was casting it, you guys also kind of rewrote a little bit for me, yeah. And so I was able to just make up this guy. I knew this wasn't about researching Emily's father and this was who this guy is. And I found out he doesn't look like me. I'll tell you how I found out, because Emily said that her mother watched the movie and said, you know, Holly Hunter is prettier than me, but your father's more handsome than Ray Romano.
It speaks to how handsome she thinks that my father is after being married to him for 51 years.
Yes.
And also, I didn't tell you that. Kumail told you. I would have never told you that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad I've given you material for the rest of your life.
But so that's how I approached the character. I thought how her father would really do it, and then I would just do it as if he were ugly.